Plant-based cuisine is evolving beyond salads and smoothies. Chefs around the world are redefining what it means to cook with whole plant-based ingredients. How are they creating dishes that are as delicious as they are nutritious? What innovations are shaping the future of plant-based dining? As part of this series, I had the distinct pleasure of interviewing Chef Leandro Minelli. Chef Leandro Minelli, also known as Leo, is the executive chef at Hyatt Centric Key West Resort and Spa. The native of Argentina has spent over 15 years with the Hyatt brand, honing his talents across the globe. At Hyatt Centric Key West, he oversees culinary operations throughout the resort, including the on-site celebrity-helmed restaurant Four Flamingos and a Richard Blais Key West kitchen and laid-back oceanside destination Blue Mojito. Notably, Chef Manelli's intense passion for food and beverage led him to become a two-time winner of Hyatt's Good Taste series in both the Bahamas and Orlando, in addition to finishing in second place in the global finals in Singapore. How are you doing, Chef?
Hi, Stanley. Doing well, thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
Your description made me hungry for something very good. You're a native of Argentina, correct?
Correct.
Can you tell us what your life was like when you were growing up and how you got interested in food?
Well, I grew up in a little town outside Mendoza. So Mendoza, for whoever doesn't know where is Mendoza located, is in the mountains between Chile and Argentina. So Mendoza is a vineyard region. We have the best wines in Argentina. My dad was a winemaker. I grew up in the land, in the countryside, we also have a big backyard, like we plant everything, um, vegetables and fruit, and we have all the access to do that. I grew up there. I grew up in the farm, and very interested in cooking, helping my family. My mom was working; she was a teacher, and dad was all day outside. So I have to cook at home, helping the family. I have a younger sister. She was 12 years younger than me, and moms usually keep some prep ready for me to cook the next day, and became very interesting with that, and that's what everything started. Yeah.
I wished I would have grown up in an environment like that to be around all the fresh vegetables and fruit. When I grew up, it was meat, meat, and more meat, and how much meat you could eat.
So
And
well, look, I'm not gonna lie. We Argentina is a meat country, no? So for us,
yeah,
meat is a big part of our diet, and of course, my home wasn't the exception. We eat a lot of meats when I was young, but we have a great balance, because we don't have any big supermarkets close to my house. So usually, you need to try to grow your ingredients in order if you want to get saludable, you want to get healthy. And then what's an advantage? But it's a lot of work involved on that, the orchard need attention all the time, and you need to change the veggies, and you need to know when you put your seeds in order to harvest later in the year. And I've been very lucky to have my mom and my dad, like they already knew that. They passed through many years doing this, so they always teaching us, like, it's time for the zucchini seed to go to the orchards because here spring is coming and they will be ready by mid-spring, and in winter it's time to put the other seeds, was very interesting, as you say, I was very lucky to grow there. I love cities, but being in the countryside is one of my favorite places.
I can only imagine what it was like. So you growing up around a lot of meat, as you became a chef, did you find most of the dishes you prepared were meat or centered around meat, or did they have lots of fruits and vegetables? Was there a balance? How did it work out for you?
I think is when you create a menu for any restaurant you are working in, and I have many restaurants already in my bag, you need to try to balance, but depends of the city you are, depends of the culture of the place you are, is what you are going to use. For example, now my menu here in Key West have more fish options than meat. I only have two meat at the restaurant. The rest is all lobster, is mahi, is triple tail, is pink shrimps, is octopus, scallops, everything like we find around the restaurant. But when I was in Brazil or in Argentina, a lot of meat was in the menu. And
I always say Brazil is all you can eat meat.
yeah, they eat picanhas, they eat a lot of sausage. They are a meat country and they love that. If you don't have the options there, you will have an empty restaurant. So as much option you have is, but it's all depend of that. Anyway, I think you need to. If I have a meat in the restaurant, I will have one or two, the best ones I can. One more accessible in terms of price, and one more very luxury. You say, okay, if you have the money and you want to eat the best piece of beef you want, here we have. We have a 21 ounces cowboy steak here at the restaurant. And you can make it this 21 ounces a surf and turf with 9 ounces of lobster tail on top. So this is a very generous portion of it. And believe it or not, it's one of the best sellers. People is coming here to the restaurant to try the surf and turf we have. It's a massive dish, 21 ounces of cowboy steak with 9
Yes,
ounces.
that is those are
It's
generous.
massive. It's very impressive when it's going to the table. It's just a big dish. And yeah, but this is the thing with the meat. My restaurant is located next to the water in the Florida Keys, so I need to have a seafood restaurant. It's more focusing in seafood.
Yeah, I understand. Absolutely. That makes sense. Um, one of the things I think you said was you don't cook with sugar, do you?
No, I don't usually, when I'm cooking for myself, I don't add sugar to anything. I actually don't have sugar at home at all for many years now. Was a big change in my life when I stopped using sugar. I think I replaced the sugar for the natural sugar that's coming from the fruit or from, I don't know, I drink coconut water. I love coconut water. So it's coming with sugar, natural sugars. Um, Everything is related with sugar need to be natural for me. Cannot be the processed sugars, granulated sugar. This is a no. At the restaurant, we have some desserts that contain sugar, but we don't have any sugar in any kind of sauce or any recipe in the appetizer, so we don't use sugar at all.
See, a lot of people don't understand the difference between natural sugar, like from fruit or coconuts and refined sugars. Because when you're eating natural sugars, there's fiber along with it.
Exactly.
And so because you're getting fiber along with it, it slows down your body, metabolizes it more slowly. And so it doesn't spike your blood sugar. Whereas when you have just pure sugar, granulated sugar, whatever, there's no fiber involved. So
No,
that's what the difference is. It's because I know when I cook, if I want something with sugar, I will take dates.
that is amazing. That is super
And
healthy.
grind them up in the food processor.
I
That,
love dates.
yeah, add a little water to it, and you've got it's as sweet as you want it to be. Um, so do you? I try to encourage people. I always tell people you can eat meat if you want to. You can eat fish if you want to. But I try to encourage people. I tell them that the less meat you eat, the the less of that you eat, the better off you are. And also dairy, things like, animal dairy products.
Yeah.
The less of that, the better. So I'm always looking for alternatives. Like, for example, breakfast every morning. I've learned how I make my own soy yogurt
Wow.
because it's hard to find it in the stores. But I sit there and I've learned how to make that, and it's not that hard to do. But a lot of people don't want to cook, do they?
No, it's tough. If you need to make your own yogurt, probably it's a process. You need to be at home. You need to have the time to do it. Anyway, I love yogurt. I don't eat dairy as well, just because my stomach doesn't accept the dairy. So I'm just for that. That's the only reason. It's not because I don't like, but I have the replacement. So for me, yogurt is a coconut yogurt. For
That
me, milk
works.
is oat milk or almond milk. And when I drink coffee and I buy in Starbucks coffee sometimes, or I'm in traveling, is everything is almond milk or oat milk, whatever I order. Ice creams as well. I order maybe sorbets. I love ice cream. Who doesn't like ice cream? But I don't eat gelatos or any kind of creamy ice cream. I'm going usually a lemon sorbet or strawberry sorbet. They are my favorite. Um, Butter, I would probably say I use very low recipes. For example, a mashed potato with butter, no excessive, but I put butter, and that's it. So the only dairy I have in my fridge when you open the fridge in my house is gonna be butter.
See, it's funny. When I was getting my weight off, large amounts of weight, I got I got down to 180 pounds or 180, 190, and I couldn't get any lower. I was exercising, everything. I couldn't get lower. So I sat there and I looked at my diet. I stopped eating butter, cheese, and ice cream. Those three things, when I stopped eating those three things, I melted. I mean, I lost weight. It was so fast you couldn't even believe it. It
Yeah,
just,
it's a lot of fat there.
for me, it didn't work for me. It's like you say, who doesn't love ice cream? I love ice cream, but ice cream doesn't love me.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
So,
That's that. But sometimes take time to understand that. You are not going to know
no,
this until you don't try and prove and make a test. And usually these things take time to have an effect. So you are going to stop eating butter, and probably the results are going to come a month after.
yeah.
They are not super easy to realize in the first week or two.
In my case, it came about 5 minutes after. I mean, it really did. I couldn't believe it. I absolutely cannot believe it. And it was almost surprised me.
Yeah.
But
Well,
and just and the funny thing is you get used to it.
yeah.
You think, I mean, like you just described eating a baked potato with butter. And I've gotten to the point where I just visualize that in my mind. And I can taste that baked potato with butter on it just by you telling me about it. I can taste it and I go, good, I had that baked potato. And then I go eat something else that, doesn't have the butter in it. And that's me. I mean, I've become pretty hardcore.
Mhm.
And I always tell people say, do I need to eat like you? Do I need to be like you? And I tell them, no, you don't.
You need to be your own.
Yeah, yes. The goal is not to create another Stanley. The goal is not to create another Leo. The goal is to create the best you in a way that makes you happy, in a way that works for you, and in a way that makes you feel good. That's
Right.
the goal. And I just like giving the people the information and let them figure out what it is they want to do.
Yeah, look, Stanley, is we are different planets, and whatever is gonna be good for you probably is not gonna be good for me. So people need to try different things for them,
Yeah.
Probably for me the best diet, I would say the one I try to my philosophy as a diet is follow the colors, try to in a week time,
Yes.
7 days, try to eat different colors, carrots, broccolis, uh, chicken, white fish, shrimps, pink shrimps, and then you have a meat, it's a red meat. I do eat meat.
Mhm.
So, but I don't eat crazy meat. I eat 1 or 2 times a week. That's it. That's the only way I eat
And
meat.
and
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 I
is
eat seven ounces, so it's okay. And I do a lot of exercise, and I do a lot of things. I'm all day standing in the kitchen. But my philosophy is try to eat different colors. Don't stick to one. Don't stick to broccoli, because it's easy to eat the broccoli, whatever. Okay, cook pumpkin, cook a carrot, cook a sweet potatoes. They are amazing. They contain sugar, in natural sugar. So that's the and this I'm talking in a 7 day, in a 7 days. It's not like in one day you need to consume all the different colors
no,
in a week. So I'm trying to, when I'm going to the supermarket, I just buy small things of different colors and I keep them at home. And because I'm busy, I don't have time to cook every day. When I put a pot of water with a little bit of salt, and then I cook them, and I keep in containers for my week. And I know every day is a different color, and help me a lot. Honestly, is make a lot of difference in my energy. Um, I'm naturally skinny for my genetic. My mom and my dad, they were skinny, so I didn't have any obesity problem, and I probably won't have because just the genetic. But be skinny doesn't mean you are healthy.
no, it does not.
That's very. I want to clarify. No, oh, look at my in the mirror. I'm skinny. Yeah, okay. But what about your energy, your body, your acid? It's a lot of things like probably you are very unhealthy.
Well, I know you told me before we started recording, you told me that you stopped adding sugar to your food, and
Yeah.
after a few weeks, you felt amazing,
The,
and
the
then
energy
you
was
cut.
the energy levels was from 4 to 10 in like this. And I said, okay, this is definitely the sugar. The sugar, the was a big change in my life, and it's something like I really recommend to everybody who's listen to try to avoid to put this little spoon of sugar in the morning. Try to avoid that. Try to avoid anything that contains sugar. Sodas, they are very bad. Drink water. Water is the best. I do drink. Have water in my diet, but I used didn't drink a lot of water. It's
Yeah.
so basic, but I didn't. So now I'm trying to remember to myself, keep this water next to you, and look for her. Where is your water around you? And this is very important part of the diet, the water.
See, you're giving very good advice. It's you're talking about moderation, not extremes, making intelligent choices. I like to cook for myself. Yes, it takes more effort, but I like to do it because that way I know what I'm eating. Although I suspect if I were in your restaurant when I'm there and I visit, I would imagine that if I asked you to prepare it a certain way, you'd do that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you could do that.
And this is part of us as a hospitality workers. We need to make sure whoever is sitting in the restaurant, and many people is doing specific diets, and not because they are going holidays, they would need to stop doing the diet. We need to understand this as a chef. So if the guests say, I want my fish with no salt and no oil, well, you need to give an option. Would you like your fish to be poached instead of in the pan? Would you like to be baked
Yeah.
without salt, without oil? So, and honestly, they will really appreciate that. And we do that. We do that a lot. That's why when we're so create the menu, we need to make sure we have vegan options. And I don't have many. I have three, but they are really good. And I'm very proud of
See,
that.
but I wouldn't even necessarily look at the vegan option. I would see, I would look at your menu and I would say, I want this and this and this and this and make me a dish. I look at the menu to see what ingredients you have.
Yeah, exactly.
And see, but one thing I do want to say, people need to remember when you want the restaurant to make your food the way you want it, be sure to ask nicely.
Yeah.
Do not be mean to your waiter. Do not be mean to your chef. Be nice to them because
Look,
people aren't always as nice as they should be.
the best way to do it for me is call the chef. say, hello, how are you? We are sitting here tonight. We have some dietary restrictions. We are in a special diet. Can I talk with the chef? It's just 5 minutes. I will talk. Just to make sure the chef will appreciate this. First of all, chef will love to be in the tables. Go and talk with the customer. I cannot speak for all the chef, but I love to go to the tables and see the face of my customer and the needs and understand the needs. And then go to them and say, look, chef, I want this carrot puree you have with the duck, with the broccolinis you have with the steak, the almonds they are in the salad, and the Caesar salad with all the dressing. Can you put this all together and make me a dish?
Yeah.
Love to do that. Because you are just giving me everything. I don't need to do anything. I just need to go to the kitchen and put the parts together and send you the dish. And you
Just
will be
need
very
to be
happy.
creative. Need to be creative. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. But
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you go ahead.
Um, as we go to wrap this up, is there anything you want to add? You were about to say something.
No, I think it's like what I wanna say. No, because you are doing a diet and you are taking care of your body, or you are vegan, or you're gluten free or dairy free. You cannot go to restaurants. Restaurant nowadays they adapt to every dietary restriction. Us as a Hyatt, we understand like these customers they come to stay 5 days in Key West with us and stay, and probably they have a special diet. They are more than welcome, and we need to make sure they have an amazing stay and they have amazing breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because they choose us to come here, and being in Key West is not cheap. It's expensive, and you need to give the options to them and make them feel an amazing weekend or whatever the days they stay. So if you are there and you have these dietary restrictions and you are doing a special diet, go out. You can go holidays. You can go to any restaurant and nicely, as you say, Stanley, talk with the chef or with the service, and they will accommodate you. We are in 2025, and there's a lot of things going on in the world, and the food is changing so fast, so quick. Not because this is changing, you are going to be healthy or eating whatever these companies want you to eat. You can still eating healthy and no sugar and be vegan and adapt to the dates.
And even if you just make little changes, like I said, you don't have to do everything.
No.
Just little changes, you'd be amazed. I mean, like I had one client, she was diabetic, type 2 diabetes, and we went over what she ate, and she was drinking sodas every day. And I said, "Can you go 1 week without drinking sodas?" She said, "Okay, yes, she said, yes, I'll do that." Well, it's been over 3 months now. She still has not had a soda. Her doctor took her off her diabetes medicine. She's lost 17 or 18 pounds, and she feels better than she's felt in years. Just from that one change.
It's incredible. Sodas they are really bad. Also here they are very cheap, which is very interesting. You can buy a soda for 25 cents. And this is what actually push the people to drink, and it's easy to drink. Sugar is everywhere here, and it's danger. So it's very dangerous.
That's the number one thing. If people ask me what's the number one thing they could make, it would be sugar. No, no.
The one I recommend, the first one you need to put off your diet is sugar. And then, look, I love breads, I love flowers, I love a nice croissant in the morning in my coffee. I'm not doing daily, but when I'm in a day off or I'm traveling, I've been in Paris for 5 days, and every day in the morning I was eating my croissant with my coffee. But
Well, that's because
when I'm coming back
you were
home,
in Paris. I can understand. Yeah.
so when I'm coming back home and I start my weeks and I'm trying to avoid that. And in my restaurant, I have amazing croissants every day, but I'm not eating them anymore. So flowers also is very, very, very bad. They're fine flowers.
Understood. Well, thank you very much. This has been a pleasure. I greatly appreciate you talking to us.
Thank you to you, Stan. It was nice to catch up with you, and whatever we can do to help people. If they need any advice with recipes or the way how to preserve the food or whatever they need, they definitely can reach out to me. I will be more than happy to answer.
Thank you.